during the campaign is clearly Department of Justice, the FBI was tipping the scales for Clinton. This revelation after President Trump was sworn in shows they were trying to undermine the election. There's a bureaucratic coup going on at the Department of Justice and FBI, and somebody needs to look at it.
It's tough language from Lindsey Graham. He is reacting to the New York Times report that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein suggesting he wear a wire when talking to the president and discussed invoking the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump from office. So will Mr. Rosenstein be gone after his Thursday meeting with the president? To Tom Fitton now, president of Judicial Watch. An internal coup. You don't usually hear that from Lindsey Graham. What do you think?
Well, you know, if these were colonels and generals having this type of discussion, there'd be no question what you call it. You call it a coup. And here you've got the top leadership of the FBI and Justice Department at the time, to put it charitably, casually discussing removing and overthrowing the president of the United States through means licit and illicit. And I think what's interesting that came out of this meeting were three things, only one of which happened. Wiretapping the president, we don't think that happened. Using the 25th Amendment obviously has not happened. And appointing a special counsel to target and harass him. We know that's what happened.
Right, right.
So we know now that based on Mr. Rosenstein's discomfort with having to be held accountable for the removal of James Comey, he took it out on President Trump by appointing a special counsel to target him on an issue that Mr. Rosenstein was in. I just got to break in with Rosenstein's argument, which is that he says he was joking. The comment about the wire was a joke. The 25th Amendment thing, he said he was joking about. I mean, the way to find out if he was joking, which he claims, or if he was serious, which a lot of people think is true, is to look at the McCabe memos. The McCabe memos are what spell all this out, and they're still being held back. Would we, if the Justice Department released those memos, would we know the truth? We'll know more of the truth. We'll have a contemporaneous record of what took place, and presumably there's more than one person who was at the meeting and have notes about it. Other witnesses should be called to talk about what happened at the meeting. But whether it was a joke or not, as I pointed out, the proof is in the pudding. And the corrupt pudding here, to strain the metaphor, is the special counsel operation run by Robert Mueller. You know, there's another thing that we need to straighten out, which was what was in that FISA warrant. And Rosenstein is the guy who signed off on the FISA warrant that allowed the U.S. government to spy on the Trump campaign. When, if ever, are we going to get to see that FISA warrant, and won't that talk about his duplicity or his role, at least, in getting that warrant? Well, again, it's up to Rod Rosenstein. He's one of the decision makers at Justice on these transparency issues, and I'd be curious to know if he was one of those who went over to the White House last week to persuade the president to stand back a little bit on his decision to release the remaining portion of the FISA warrant, that anyone who's looked at it who has classified clearances like Devin Nunes and Bob Goodlatte in the House have said it has nothing to do with national security. It has everything to do with corruption that the Justice Department and the FBI and maybe other agencies don't want out there. Tom, because of the breaking news, we have to cut it short, but very quickly, does Rosenstein stay through the end of the week? Yes. Okay. There's the prediction from Tom Fitton. Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it. Wish it could be longer.